Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about security threats in cognitive radio. So what is a security threat? A security threat is described as a potential violation of the security. So this security threat can be intentional, like a deliberate attack, or it could be unintentional due to some failure of the system or some malfunctioning in the system. So it is we can tolerate unintentional attacks since it happens due to internal failures or malfunctions. But intentional ones are ones which need to be considered. So an attack could either be a strong attack or a weak. When do you call an attack as a strong attack? An attack is considered as strong if it involves minimum number of adversaries performing minimal operations, but at the same time causing maximum damage. So, when an attack is very strong, the system's operation gets interrupted. Hence, it needs to be avoided. So, let us see the different types of attacks that exist in our system. So, the different types of attacks generally they follow a layered approach. So, we can see that the types of attacks can either be classified as physical layer attack, link layer attack, network layer attack, transport layer attack, and application layer attack. So, today we are going to discuss about or mainly going to concentrate on the physical layer attack. So, what is a physical layer attack? Generally, in any transmission system, the transmitter and receiver are connected by a medium. So, whenever there is an attack on over this medium, you call it as physical layer attack. But in our case, in case of cognitive radio, the medium is usually the atmosphere or the air. So, when it is atmosphere or air, the attack is going to be the physical layer itself is going to be complex, while the attack is still going to be further complex. So, in case of physical layer attack, the most important one is primary user emulation attack. We are going to discuss about primary user emulation attack. So, in case of primary user emulation attack, that is, the attacker will emulate the primary user. That is, it will act as if the attacker itself is the primary user and try to occupy all the nodes. So, this is the basic concept behind primary user emulation attack. So, the attacker will act as if he is the primary user. So, there are two types of nodes which launch PUEA, that is greedy nodes and malicious nodes. So, what are greedy nodes? These greedy nodes transmit fake primary user signals. So, when they transmit these signals, the secondary users can assume that the primary user is using the spectrum, and hence they vacate the band and leave the band. Thus, these nodes can occupy the primary user's nodes. So, these are greedy nodes. When we come to this malicious nodes, what malicious nodes do is that they copy the exact, they make a exact, they copy the primary user signals exactly and transmit them. Thus, when they transmit, there is a denial of service. So, the secondary user considers that the primary user is existing and they are transmitting the signals, and hence they vacate the band. Another important thing is that these nodes can cooperate and transmit fake primary user signals in several bands. Thus, the CRN has to keep hopping between bands. So, it is a very hectic operation. So, these are the basic things that we need to understand about greedy nodes and malicious nodes. Let us consider the following figure. So, here we can see that this is the primary user, right? And these are the secondary users. Now, suppose if the malicious user or the attacker, right, he wants to use this spectrum, what malicious user does is that it will send signals similar to the primary user. So even if these signals are not available, right, even if the primary user signals are not available, the malicious user will send signals which are exactly similar to those of the primary user. As a result, these secondary users assume that, consider that these signals are from the primary and thus they do not occupy the spectrum. So since these secondary users do not occupy the spectrum, the malicious user will try to occupy the spectrum of the primary user. So this is how the attacker occupies the spectrum of the primary user. Hope we have understood what is physical layer attack. Thank you.